We're live. Okay, Salam, if you got the sound, are we working? Are we ready to rock and roll? Okay.
Love
All right,
it.
so we've got Nneka Cleaver in the house. The
Hello, my
camera's
friends.
over there. Hold on a second. Let me turn a little bit towards. Let me violate all social distancing.
All social difference. Space.
Ron Nuremberg, happy, happy, happy. Ron Nuremberg, sad, 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 mad.
Mad.
Nelson Wolf, really pissed off. Okay, that's a bad joke. I should not be making light.
Horrible. Look at
I should
you.
not be making light of social distancing joke. It's insensitive. Thanksgiving's on Thursday, and people are going to be congregating. Be careful. Wear your mask. Mask up.
Absolutely.
You're sitting at the table. Don't be. Actually, I think they said. I read today somewhere that they said mask up. If you're giving grandma a hug, kiss her through the mask.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I heard today. If you even get together with your family or friends, don't be hugging. Don't be singing. Don't be praying. Like they basically said, you're just going to walk in, sit 6 feet from each other at the turkey table, and be
that's it.
You can't be Latino or black.
You can, yeah, pretty much. You can't.
Look.
Salo had to go there. Like Salo keeps it.
I mean, how do you get 32 people in your house without being close? Is what it is.
32 people in your house. Are you feeding the
the family? I'm feeding the family.
Do not, Nneka. When they come knocking on your door, Nelson Wolf shows up. I don't have my mask. When Nelson Wolf shows up, right? He's masked up. Right? He comes
trying to give me a ticket.
Come to give you a ticket for having 35 people in your house. Give him a turkey leg. Maybe
right. I'm gonna make him a plate. Is what I'm gonna do.
Nneka's gonna make a plate and get out of the ticket. So we are live and filming from Align Mortgage of Texas. We want to thank our sponsors right up front before we jump into Nneka. If I don't get this done right now, Nneka and I will not get to our sponsors. So always want to thank the people who are helping us put our show together. We appreciate it. Our sponsors, Align Mortgage of Texas. Thank you to Chris
This
Cano.
is a beautiful place. Oh my!
She's been here for an hour.
It's
she knows
beautiful.
She's been.
I planned 3 events in my head already.
Oh my gosh, we pre-gamed the dinner already. We ate and had dinner because we always do dinner before the show. And of course, here we are talking about our sponsorship here from Aligned Mortgage of Texas. Chris Cano, Cody Carrasquillo, and Tony Diaz, the 3 owners of Align Mortgage of Texas, the #1 VA lender in the state of Texas, soon to be the nation, helping veterans, right, and active duty military members, their families, their spouses, own a piece of the land they help defend. That is the mantra. You can look right over there, Align Mortgage, on their core values. Faith, which I absolutely love that faith pops up first.
Yes.
Faith, which is not by accident, by the way, my friends. Faith first. Family, coworkers, and community. If you are in need of a mortgage loan or just advice as a veteran, or if you're just a regular old Joe walking across the street, want to buy a house, give them a call. They care. They give us a space to put out information and ideas and welcome people here. And this building is right off of Summit Parkway off of 410. Phenomenal building, installation facility.
Awesome.
Come out and join us. And if you want to come out before our broadcast, we always eat about 6 o'clock. And we have been on a Hooters wings run for quite a while.
They were delicious.
Yes, they were very delicious. Join us. My wife now knows I was eating Hooters wings, which is not on my diet plan. But delicious. Join us. So thank you, Chris, Tony. It was keto. Totally keto. We appreciate you, Align Mortgage of
Totally
Texas.
not.
Thank you. We also want to thank our sponsors from the Realtor World. Oh, we're going to go to Louis first. Okay. AAA Garcia Bell Bonds and Louis Garcia. He absolutely looks like that photo. And we keep talking about this. Yeah. It is an uncanny likeness. He does not have 2 handcuffs hanging from his chest, though. I'm just going to tell you that's not what he actually is in real life. But he is a wonderful business operator, family man, putting the Bell Bonds business outside of downtown San Antonio. He's actually off of I think he's like 4 locations now, but he's got one right near us over here off of Bandera and 1604. He's the only guy doing Bell Bonds outside of downtown. So, Louis, we love you. Appreciate all you do for us. Thank you. If you get rung up and you need some help, man, the country's innocent until proven guilty. You can get out of jail, right?
You can.
Javier Salazar does not have to accidentally let you go. You can obtain a bail bonds. I always say that. I don't know why I always do it. It's like a running joke for a year now. Okay. It's part of my speech. It's part of the plan. Louis is going to take care of you. Family man, we love you, Louis. We appreciate you. 2 realtor partners we always want to recognize. Susan Bielicki. Oh, man, I guessed the right one. You brought it up. Susan is a military relocation specialist. Her husband, by the way, Adam, started a food truck, Salo. Remember he brought us the food. His food truck is called Mass Hole. I'm not even making this up. It's called Mass Hole.
I like it. I bet it's delicious.
So he makes like bao buns and bao buns, lobster rolls. He opened his food truck on Saturday night, I think. Sold out.
Beautiful.
Where?
I did it in the neighborhood, but apparently he rolled out in a neighborhood over here in the District 6 region, I think is in that zone. Started it, completely blew out the menu, tore it up. He served us one night here at Align Mortgage, killed it. Everybody loved it. The food truck is Mass Hole. Look it up on, I'm hoping he's on social media and Facebook, but if not, I just gave a plug, it doesn't exist. But more importantly, he's the spouse to Susan Bielicki. Susan runs the show. She's the realtor. If you need help in any home purchase, give Susan a call. Military relocation specialist. We love her. Ray Rodriguez is the dad, Susan's dad. He's one of our biggest helper sponsors, and he is our buddy. And we also want to thank Brian Pena. Look, man, the Toronto Realty Group. Aside from being a handsome devil, the dude does mortgage loans, and he looks like a potential, right? A potential. I'm just saying. Sicario. He's a Sicario. I'm just kidding. We make a joke about Brian. We're always teasing him, right? We're joking about, you know what Sicario is, the movie, right? Like we're always messing with Brian. We love you, Brian. We love you. Brian, yeah, look, see, but he actually has a wonderful look. Guy does and leads our Bible study here at Align Mortgage, and he's a fantastic man. And more importantly,
joked and put Bible study in the same sentence. I like these guys.
I can't help it. But Brian is, look, he's our friend, he's our brother. If you got questions about mortgages, he has a great first responder buyers program. Toronto Realty Group. Brian takes care of us as well. Always shows up, gets it done. We just like to poke fun at him. Well, because he's the handsomest realtor on the planet. We got to give him that. Salo. It is what it is. We love him. He's there. So, and to our friend Tyler Hall at Speedy Salt. Tyler has had some surgical work done over the last couple. We'll leave it at that. HIPAA rules. We don't want to piss Tyler off, but he's been in the hospital. And I guess I could probably say, I'm going to say a little bit about what Tyler did. Tyler donated an organ, a kidney, to a family member. I won't go any further than that, but that is the ultimate gift of love, and Tyler gave a kidney up to help someone in need. We'll leave it at that, but he is our big supporter friend. We love him. He's always been here to help us.
Absolutely.
And if you need salt for your water softener or kidney, just call Tyler Hall. He'll provide it, you know. Actually, Tyler, the man, we love you. We appreciate you. Get better, man, because we need you, dude. I need to help some of these wings. We need to kill the dinner. So thank you for everything. All right. Those are our sponsors. We love you. We appreciate it. Share your thoughts. Let us know what district you live in the comments. I'll be monitoring as best I can. Watch out for the crazy memes that you're going to be sending me here. Let me make sure I've got this opened up here. Put the comments in there. What district you live in. What you're thinking about here for Thanksgiving, because I'm going to start off with Nneka. I'm going to bring her in here, but I have one question that's going to be interesting because I want Nneka to start this off with us, and I want to talk about it too. It's about being thankful for a few minutes before we get into politics in District 2. But Nneka Cleaver is running for City Council in District 2. We invited her on because, well, she's everywhere. We met her a couple of weeks ago. She's all over the place. She's got a lot of thoughts, and when I say a lot of thoughts, she knows her business, and she has a plan on what she's doing. We're thankful you're here tonight to talk it over with us.
Thank you.
So what are you thinking, man? What do you want? All right. Tell them your background before we get into my little thankful portion of this podcast. So
oh, my gosh. Okay.
Give us the background.
I got a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm going to do it real quickly, right?
You have 1 minute. No,
born and raised in San Antonio, but I was actually raised in Garden Ridge, Texas, right? So like by Roanoke Mall and all that area. I went to school at St. Mary's Hall, which is a private school. Then went to school at Canyon High School in New Braunfels because that's where Garden Ridge had to go. Went off to college at Texas A&M University. My grandfather is the vice president of Prairie View A&M. So I got to choose. I said, I don't want to go where he's the vice president. I'm going to Texas A&M University. So I ended up going out there. I learned that I was an entertainer. I loved hosting things. I loved bringing people together. So I actually founded a sorority out there called Phi Gamma Chi Sorority, which was all about people bringing their talents, their God-given gifts to the table to help the community. While I was there, my mom passed away, so I moved back to San Antonio and actually helped my dad with a youth program called Youth with High Potential on the east side at Fairchild Tennis Center. We did that for 10 years, about 9, almost 10 years, and my dad passed away at that time. So after my dad passed away, I said, okay, Lord, what is I to do now? So I went through that finding myself stage. I bartended. I hosted clubs. I hosted events. I started an entertainment magazine so San Antonio would know where all the great places to go. I got on the radio. I was on your morning show host at KTFM. I don't know if you guys remember Hot Henrietta and Rick the Stick.
Hot
back in the day.
And Rick the Stick.
And now, do y'all remember 94.1 when Hot Henrietta and Rick the Stick were on the air? Okay, so now I'm going to take you back. Y'all remember this, right?
Yes, I remember. Keep telling the story. You're going good. You're going good.
The day that they got fired.
Yes.
And then this other people came on, and their name was Robin Flores and Miss Nneka.
When she told this story the other day, I thought to myself, oh, man, I was going back. I mean, you were bringing me back to my roots.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my time at Joe's Volcano.
All those good times.
No,
I'm just saying.
I was never hanging out at Joe's Volcano.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe once or twice. But it was because I was at the little Chuck E. Cheese right there, and I just happened over to Joe's Volcano.
Every once in a while. Let's be honest. If you
wandered.
haven't been to Joe's Volcano, you're not really from San Antonio.
If you haven't been to Joe's Volcano,
at least once,
or danced at Image, I don't know if everybody remembers that.
Of course we do. Of course we do.
Okay, we got to get to part. I'm sorry. See, you took me down
so
memory
I'm sorry.
Hot Henrietta.
So a lot of times people don't realize that I woke you up in the morning. I took you to work in the morning. I gave you all
crazy.
your celebrity gossip in the morning when we had battle of the female and the men. And I used to get so mad when the men would win. But that was me. So from there, after I left there, I decided to indulge into TV a little bit. I didn't know if I wanted to be a TV person, so I tried news. But guess what I do and you can't do on the news? All this. I'm the person that, news people are just like this. They don't even smile. So I said, this is not for me. I don't want to do this.
So Steve smiles.
So I said, I really like radio. So I decided to help KROV, community radio.
K-Rock, yes.
I helped them launch. I taught the DJs how to DJ. I taught them how to do commercials. I taught them how to do all this stuff. And a year later, the Lord said, I just wanted you to see that you can do it. Now go start your own. So I launched the One Radio, which turned into the One Media Hub. And I literally moved to the East Side on purpose to give the people a voice and a platform. I spent the last 10 years giving Christmas drives, backpack drives, Thanksgiving turkeys, feeding people, clothing people, giving them a platform, giving them a mic, putting a TV in front of them, going to every initiative I can, DJing middle school dances because they don't have the budget to buy an actual DJ, so they would have parents bring their iPhones, and I'm like, no. So I would bring make my DJs go and work for free. So we've just been there in the community, in the face of it, in the midst of it for the last 10 years. I've had relationships because I had a platform like this, I demanded that our city leaders come and speak to us and the people. So I made the mayor come. I made I talked to judges and told them to come in and tell us about different programs in the judicial court. I talked to the sheriff. And we interviewed these folks for years. So I've been doing that for the last 5 years. Well, last year I said, what do this council people really do?
That's a good question.
What do they do? Because I live in District 2, and I'm sorry, I'm just bypassing any other question you may have. But I live in District 2.
You're on a roll.
And I am wondering why people have the same concern for 10 years. How can you have the same concern for 10 years and no one's either told you how to do it or why you can't? This makes no sense to me. So I started looking a little deeper. I started digging a little deeper, and I thought, you know what? I am made for this job. I have every relationship that is needed in local government to get programs started, to get things moving, and to make stuff happen. At the end of the day, I don't have to sit up there and knock on doors and wonder if someone's going to answer the phone. I've already worked with them for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. I've already helped put their ideas out into the community, connect them with the district. So at the end of the day, now it's time for me not just to be a platform to let it be heard, but for me to be a main factor into getting the change that we need to make our district grow and bring the unity together. Because let me tell you something about District 2. We have everything there. We have money there. We have talent there. We have community initiatives. We have programs for every need that you need, but everybody is working solo. Nobody's supporting each other. Nobody's getting the resources from the city or from around. We need glue to bring all of these things together. And if your city council doesn't know what youth programs have been going on for 5, 8, 10 years, who's been putting on the same backpack drives for 9 years, there's a problem. There's a problem with that. I'm sorry.
All right. No. Just hold on.
I'm just saying.
Hold on.
You know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of little things that we can do.
I think I may move to District 2. I mean, just. Okay. All right. Number one, she does not lack for passion. All right. So wow. Okay. By far, we've been doing this for a year plus. That was the greatest introduction.
I'm sorry.
Nneka, you just no. You have nothing to be sorry for. No. That was the greatest introduction, elevator speech in the history of elevator speeches on the broadcast, and I would tell you, in any city council race I've ever seen, ever. So thank you for that.
Yes.
I had an entirely different plan, but we'll get with before we unpack that, because I've got questions I want to ask you. Some people are asking some questions. People are asking questions, but I want to ask this one question. I want people to think about this and put this in, and then I will ask the questions that are on here right now. But this is something I want you to think about. It's an oddball question, but I was wondering, and I was thinking about it myself. Sal and I talked about this a little bit. The question I want to go into is, what are we thankful for when it comes to politics, to government? So Thursday's Thanksgiving, and we make jokes about social distancing and families not being able to get together and Ron and Nelson ruining our Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, there's the Grinches who stole Thanksgiving.
He's not going to make me keep laughing.
It is what it is. But at the end of the day, we're celebrating a thankfulness on Thursday. And in this time period where everybody hates politics, right? It was very divisive and it's ugly. It was a tough election. We've gone through a tough 4 years. We've gone through a tough 8 years in politics. It's just been building up over time. So I was thinking, what are we thankful for when it comes to politics and government in itself? So I'll give you my example, right? So one of the things I'm most thankful for when it comes to politics and government is that it is truly, I believe, politics or being a government, elected officials and leaders. Yeah, they got if you were to list out 100 things, perhaps they're not very good at 95 of them. But every now and then there's 2 or 3 things that they do exceptionally well. And I do think, for me, I'm thankful the government still tries to help the smallest person, right? Those with the least fortune. And I still believe that is a rallying cry of politics. So when I think about it, I think of places like the food bank, communities in schools, real basic type things where we're helping. Because if you think about it, if it wasn't for the government still trying to make sure that it's somewhat of an even playing field, and we can debate that. We can debate all day long how much we help somebody and how much we don't, what's affirmative action and what's not, what's giving somebody a hand up or a handout. Those debates are always there. But I think what's happened with COVID-19, right, is that we've realized that when the government isn't working, we are all hurting.
Yes.
So I am thankful that the path to it is government. And I believe, because I love politics and governance, I do believe that we can do a lot more and do better, right? We can do greater things through government if the policies and things. So I still have a strong appreciation and thanks for people who want to run.
Yeah.
Who want to be a part of that. Even if I straight up think you're the biggest fool on the planet.
Yeah.
If you're willing to go for it and get in there and make it happen and put your argument out there, I think that's a wonderful thing. So look, I'm thankful for people who run, and I'm thankful that we still have a government in place that is still trying to support people. We may not agree with everything, but
there's people that can still fight for the people.
It wasn't for City Hall, streets and sidewalks aren't getting done.
Right.
Police officers aren't getting paid.
Right.
And there's a lot of problems we have if not for government. So government can do a lot of harm. 100% agree. But there's still good and things left in it. What are you thankful for? Because you're about to get into politics. So there's got to be something good that you're going to jump into.
I'm going to tell you one specific thing that I'm thankful for San Antonio politics. And that is that the council race is nonpartisan. I don't have to be Democrat. I don't have to be Republican. I don't have to be, one way or the other, because I am truly a person of the people. So I vote people, not party. I might vote Republican here and a Democrat here and a Republican here and a Democrat. So my issues and the way I think, I'm not thinking about it one side or the other. I'm thinking about it, how does it help people? Period. Right? So when you have to group yourself into something, and I think I saw a list that somebody had me under Democrat, and I thought, why? Is it because I'm a black female? Right? But stereotypes come into that. And I believe it's a way to divide our people, to divide our unity. I was disgusted. Hear me when I say I was disgusted by the presidential election and the hate that was spewing out of people's mouths. People who go to church every Sunday. What is going on? We are living in the same America, the same San Antonio. We share the same streets. We got the same mailman. We cannot be fighting over a Democrat and Republican situation. We need to be fighting to make sure our 5-year-olds are good. That's the fight.
Well, I tell you, it wasn't always that way in San Antonio. So I've been around San Antonio politics for probably 12 to 15 years now. And it wasn't always as partisan as it is now. I personally attribute a lot of that to the Julian Castro.
Okay.
If you go back to about Phil Hardberger and before that, it wasn't as heavily partisan or divided. But then Julian Castro becomes mayor, focuses on his decade of downtown, puts billions of dollars into downtown only, and neglecting
the rest of the city.
Then he full on goes to the hardcore Democrat, speaks to the Democrat convention, really turns it into this hyper partisan environment and brings a level of politics. So I'll be honest with you, I think Julian Castro set us on a path to destroy our city when it comes to this partisan, nonpartisan nature. I agree with you. I think being nonpartisan speaks a lot, and people have to, you can tell where people are by kind of what they stand for, believe in.
Absolutely.
But it does allow you a little bit of freedom to try to do something a little different and work with somebody else. Like when I was on the council, from time to time I worked with Roberto Trevino. Clearly on the other side of me politically, Clayton Perry and I, side by side, on a lot of things politically, and we worked together. I may have reached across the aisle and worked with Rebecca Villagrán. Something was always, we found some common ground on a few points here and there, but when you're right, I think the loss of that is hurting our city. So to get a little bit back of the nonpartisan piece, I don't know if we'll ever get back to the way it was, because that's what it is now.
Right.
It's a divided situation, period. But I think that all started when we started taking the cash and people's hard-earned money and tax dollars and really using them as weapons to divide. And I think the current mayor, Ron Nirenberg, is one of the biggest dividers there is in our city. I mean, I think he comes into the conversation a lot, and I think City Hall picks winners and losers a lot. That's a tough conversation.
And that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
It's not what we're supposed to be doing. When I say they pick winners and losers, they literally pick which businesses fail or succeed. You can look at it with COVID-19 right now, who they shut down and who they don't. So you brought up a few good points. I want to get some of these questions out, and some people right here asking some real tough ones, man. Travis Cox is asking some crazy good questions after he's actually picking on me, though, a little bit. But he's asking some really good questions. Let's go to her. I want to go right into public safety because District 2, I mean, look, we've seen crime waves and surges over in District 2, and they make the news a lot.
Right.
We talk about the defunding police, Black Lives Matter, fix SAPD, the racial demographics that make up a District 2. That is a highly active and engaged community.
Yes.
With issues that you have one part of it that's base level poverty. I mean, you're talking homes that are gentrified and people priced out of their homes, all the way up to the northern side of the district where you're talking areas in the Pearl and $500,000-$600,000 homes in neighborhoods that don't look like District 2 anymore, with residents that don't look like District 2. So let's rank for you what the 2 or 3 things are that matter most in District 2. And then I want to get into the public safety piece because people got some concerns about where things stand on.
I'm going to tell you this, and then my platform, as far as working currently, continue working until we get it done. Then when we get things done, then we can open up. And it's not neglecting anything that might happen or things that we have to go along the way. But safety increases, the number one, educational increase, economic increase, connecting the district properly, which is kind of what I started off with, and protecting our vulnerable communities, which is our homeless, our at-risk youth, and things of that matter. So those, to me, are things that we need to concentrate on and focus on to bring the unity of District 2 back, to bring the core base back into District 2. Because again, we've got things going all over the place. We need to bring it in. Right? So when we want to talk about safety, because I just want to let you know December 12th is our first Get Out to Vote rally, and we will be breaking down the safety increase, the people that we'll be working with, and the steps on how we're going to get it done. One thing that I was extremely upset about, and I will just say it, is we had someone on our council say, well, we're just going to stop crime. We're going to end crime for 30 days. How do you end crime for 30 days if you don't talk to anybody? Who did you talk to? Did we talk to the pastors? Did we talk to the ex-gang members? Did we talk to the programs that help with at-risk youth? How are you going to decrease violence if we're not actually targeting the things that create that violence. So when we're talking about safety increase, we have to literally go back to the drawing board. We have to go to homes and teach them how to provide safety in their homes. We have to teach the kids self-defense from walking home to school or where they're doing. And those classes need to be free for the community. We need to bring in the programs and actually work hand in hand with our constables, with our sheriffs, and with our active police that are actually in our area. We need regular, I don't want to call it a meet and greet, but the police who are in our district, we need to know them and they need to know us. There is no reason that you live down the street and the police is hassling you or wondering what you're doing or why are you in the area when you live in the area. They need to know who lives in our area. We need to work together to decrease crime, but it's a step-by-step process. It's not just walking out the door and say, this is what we're going to have. This is what's going to happen. We have to literally take each step and put programs in place because you know what's not measurable in District 2? How we got here. How many crimes do we have? And have we ever put in a program to where we can measure whether or not that program works to decrease the crime? So we actually need to, on purpose, put in different elements with working with our constable, working with our sheriff, working with our patrolling SAPD, and then actually measure what's going to go on in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, continued. So now we know what things to actually put in place, what things we need to look at, what areas are really being targeted. Yes, we know, but at the end of the day, what have we done about it?
So crime. So here's a good question, right? And it's popping up in multiple ways. People asking already. The police, right? So we know that's
we're not
issue.
defunding the police. That's not something that we want to do.
Man.
I'm sorry.
Nneka, can I ask Nneka in the morning, listen to me. When I'm setting up the question, Nneka.
I got to let you ask
it. Let me finish. I take like 2 minutes, so it's about me. And then
it jumps to me.
And then I let you answer, but
please give me the question.
You didn't even let me ask the question so I can get some me time. Actually, okay, you answered the question. Now I guess this is kind of like a little bit of Jeopardy right now, a little Alex Trebek right here. So you gave me the question. Look, here's what people want to know. And I guess it comes down to something as simple as, can you be pro-police? We talked about this a little bit before the show. Not too much, because I don't ever like to talk too much and ruin our conversation. Can you believe in the police and the need for the police department? Can you be pro-police? And can you care and recognize that Black Lives Matter? Can you be both? I'm not talking about the actions of the Black Lives Matter stuff that makes the news that's easily maligned, right? There's actions that nobody, rioting and looting, there's actions that nobody condones of any, well, I'm not going to say of any political spectrum. No, there's actions that are condoned, obviously. But can you be pro-Black Lives Matter and pro-police? Tough question.
Yes, you can, but let me just say this, okay? Me as Nneka Cleaver, when Black Lives Matter first came out, I was asked by, I want to say Sue, who works over at Kens 5, and she said, Nneka, what do you think about Black Lives Matter? And I said, I hate it. And she said, what? And I said, because I don't think it's right for me to have to tell you that my life matters. I'm a human being. Why do I have to tell you that? Right? I get the movement. I get what's going on. And the issues that we need to actually deal with are one-on-one targeted issues. It's not a whole summary of things. When we're talking about, I know a main concern out there is for the police union contract, which I literally my first thing was, let me go talk to the police union and understand this contract. Somebody show me a contract so I can understand what parts of it. What I saw was in 143, there is 44 parts of that contract. You can't just throw all that out, but we do need to go and see which ones might need to be rewritten or maybe redone, because that's letting bad cops slip through. We don't want bad cops.
So
we love the good ones.
Is it fair to say then that you had one opinion until you got educated about the police contract piece? Because somebody did throw out there that early on there was some commentary, but you said you were lumped in with other people.
Yeah, well, there was an article
about the fact that you were advocating for the removal of the police contract, and we talked about this. And I said, hey, people want to know, and I think you unequivocally said, you could not have said it any better. I just want to make sure I'm clear. No to defunding the police.
I live on the east side, we need police.
And I think you said something very interesting. You didn't know, so you went and said, man, I'd like to read the contract.
Yes.
Like, okay, fine.
Yes.
Because folks in the Fix SAPD movement, I'm not sure they're looking at the entirety of the situation as opposed to problems they may have with individual aspects of the contract, right? Is that what you're...
Well, I will tell you, I have talked to some of the Fix SAPD people. I support folks. I support the community getting out and giving knowledge to people. That's period. Because I feel like everybody has the right to make their own decision, but they need to make their own decision on correct information. So again, I've talked to folks. I've said, okay, well, are y'all willing to go talk to the police association? Are y'all willing to go talk to these people? So my thing is always trying to get everybody to the table so we can resolve what we need to resolve and move forward. So it's not about me. Again, I am not here to run on a black ticket. I'm not all about the black lives and we need to black. No, I'm about equality, equity, and fairness all the way across the board. Do I want to see our black businesses fall and get pushed aside? Absolutely not. And I will not allow it, nor will I allow my Hispanic business or my women's businesses or my Asian businesses. At the end of the day, there is room for all of us to fight for each thing that we need to fight for and still be in unity. Because I promise you, you're going to need someone to help fight for your cause when it goes to your door.
Well, when we talk about, too, and you brushed on it a little bit right there, and it's a very good point. Because you said, well, I'm from District 2. Why would I want to get rid of the police? The neighborhoods that hurt with the elimination of the police department are the neighborhoods that are currently hurting right now for crime. So you think that somebody, and let's be 100% blunt here. Mm-hmm. You think somebody in Stone Oak in a gated community, if the police got defunded, you think they're going to lose sleep at night as much as somebody on the south side of San Antonio?
Do you think the police are going to stop going over there?
That's my point, right? That's my point, right? Like it's there. Depending on where you live in this city, there is a truth to the conversation that if you defund and eliminate the police department, certain sides of our town are going to suffer more than others.
Absolutely.
And it's not those that are in the wealthier side of town. Now, you can say, hey, Greg, man, that's BS. That's not how the city works. Everybody should be equal. All things should be equal. Let's face it.
That's not what happens.
The resources are allocated where the criminal activity is. The resources are allocated where it's necessary and needed. I mean, it used to be you can go right down Roosevelt on the south side. It was a prostitution ring every corner of the way, right? Mm-hmm. You have to surge in resources to eliminate crime. Cherry Street on the east side. Drug dens off Money Lane in District 6. I mean, there's a lot of these pockets of crime all over. And if you eliminate the police and reduce them, yes, you can sit there and say, man, I've got problems with police accountability. Okay, fine. You got problems with police accountability. A classic example would be the one we hear a lot about is that an arbitrator should be able to see more of a police officer's contract than work history than just 2 years.
Right.
Fine. That we hear that one a lot.
Yes.
Do you think we throw the whole contract out and eliminate everything over?
And I have never said that either, because one of the things that I have always done, and I know that particular article, again, I was at the council to fight my own battles, and Black Lives Matter was also there to fight the battle that they were fighting. And again, unfortunately, but it happens, right? We're all black. So I all of a sudden became a member of the Black Lives Matter, but that's not, I was there on my own as Nneka Cleaver to defend the rights.
Yeah, you showed up at the council meeting,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. So I just went up there when my name was called, and next thing I know,
I think that's kind of hilarious, right? I mean, if you think about it, it's
absolutely what happened.
Huge. I mean, hilarious isn't probably the right word, but it's
because
kind of ridiculous.
From the beginning, I've always said, hey, the first thing I wanted to do was read the 143 and the 174 to make sure what was in it, because I wasn't sure. The second thing I wanted to do was actually speak to some police officers, because I know that I don't think they're allowed to talk about any of this stuff, but I wanted to kind of see, like, personally, are you okay? Does this hurt you? Does this help you? Should we be fighting for this? Should we not?
I don't know. I see East Side police officers, and I know a ton of them, and Greg Brooks.
But does that make sense, though?
Greg Brooks retired as police officer here. He was a supervisor on the East Side. He put it right here. I was a supervisor on the East Side, and my officers and my citizens, my officers and myself, we're great with the citizens, and we were always welcomed on calls. Like,
there you go.
So I think we tend to tell ourselves a story too. One of the things I think San Antonio,
absolutely do.
One of the things, and thank you. If you can, just leave the comments up there. That'll help us a lot. One of the things I think San Antonio leadership is notorious for is the need to adopt other people's problems as our own. Like it's a San Antonio way of life for city council, the mayor, and the leadership. Like, well, these problems are occurring in other cities, therefore they're occurring here. We're an economically segregated, racially broken, systemically racist city because Portland is, or because Minneapolis and George Floyd. Therefore, those problems are our problems, right? So I think San Antonio adopts that a lot, and I always put it akin to this. Like if I have a neighbor or I have a best friend, and let's say my buddy's married, and his wife is messing around on him, right? I don't go home and check my wife's phone and divorce my wife. I think I told you this, right? Like if my buddy has a problem with his wife, I don't go when I hear his problems, then go, oops, I'm going to go home and
right. And I absolutely agree.
My wife's doing it, right? We don't adopt other people's
San Antonio has our own issues. We do have our own issues.
It's a unique set of issues.
We do need some more equity within our jobs and our employment. We do need more black people hired within the city top things. But again, I'm telling you, but at the end of the day, this is San Antonio, and you can't combine the two.
You just said something that was huge right there again. Look, I will give you this.
I'm not going to let the people slide when it comes to
Nneka,
this.
You are at the very least saying things that need to be said. For instance, you said, and you may not have caught this one, the city of San Antonio needs to hire more people of color in their leadership ranks.
I said black people.
Okay, all right. I'm just
because there is a difference between.
Okay, you're right, because they're
the black and the minority.
They can be top heavy in Hispanic hires. You're right, they are.
And that's the excuse that we get. We're hiring this percentage of minorities. However, to my Hispanic population, in which I love very much, you are the majority here. So what they do is, a lot of times you get more of the Hispanic heavy or other. Honey, I've seen white Germans get jobs before black people under minority.
Well, and I
need that people to understand that aspect.
Even then, right, the hiring of a qualified person, right? That's what we want. We want the best, highest qualified person.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not what happens at the city of San Antonio. And it's not just the hiring of positions in leadership. It's also in the contracting.
It is very much in the contracting.
It's very much. And this is
contracts have been taken away from people.
You could do a whole show just on the contracting problems that the city of San Antonio has. How black-owned businesses, right? Right, that they don't get the same contracts or the same opportunities. It's simple percentages too, right? As do other contractors in the city. That goes
These are facts.
It goes into the high. Yeah, these are clean facts. There's nothing about this in the least bit that is that's not provable, right? That's untrue because the data is there and how people get hired, right? When you're a person of color, and then you take it one step forward. Look. You can get away with the argument that the city of San Antonio is hiring people of color. I'm glad you called me on that and said, hold on, Greg, that you got to dig deeper than just saying person of color.
Got to. You
have
to.
Me. Okay, you caught me on that. Because the true step is the next level down, which is then you see how are black people, right? What is that? What is the African-American hiring piece? Whatever they want to however they decide to put it into their little corner in the spreadsheet, statistically, whether it's through hiring or it's through contracting, the city of San Antonio stinks.
Yes, and I will also say
they're terrible
that I do believe that it's economic before just race, but you also have to understand how the economics kind of pushes race together, right? Prime example, if you look at small-owned businesses in San Antonio, in every district, there's 10,000 small-owned businesses, and on the east side, there's only 4. Why?
You just...
Why?
Again, you're like, I like people who just put it out there, right, for the debate. So you may not have all the answers. Travis Cox, again, asked something about, and I want to get to in a second, is there something you want to learn more about? That's a great question because you have a lot of answers, but what you do have is a lot of things, you're identifying a lot of things that are broken. For instance, I don't think San Antonio is a systemically racist city. Are there racist people in San Antonio? Hell yeah, there are. I don't think it's systemically broken and racist. I think it's systemically affected by class warfare.
For sure.
So I think it's more class warfare than it is systemic racism because we've created an environment of winners and losers out of City Hall.
So I will tell you some more facts.
What do you think?
The whole time that my parents were alive and we lived in Garden Ridge and I went to St. Mary's Hall and I was a debutante and I drove around in a Mercedes, I was never not afforded anything. I got everything that I needed. I was attending everything that I wanted to. Nobody blocked me out of anything. The only time I started getting blocked out is when I moved to the east side and my money was all tied up into my business. And so I was a little bit more struggling on resources and money and things of that sort, and everything became tougher. So I will say that I do believe economics becomes before it's going to say race, but I will not sit here and say that there is not some racial issues within the city, because we absolutely know that there are.
There are. Okay, let's be very clear. And you always have to be exceptionally. These are tough conversations to be had. Yeah. But you also have to be very clear about what you really believe, because politics and politicians can kind of wind through this like. Certain members of that city council and the mayor are very good at telling you everything you want to hear with telling you nothing at all.
At all.
So the truth is, I'm a 110% police supporter. Everybody knows it. Police and fire, 100%. I truly believe in the mission as the number one role is public safety at City Hall. I believe it 100%.
It should be.
But, right, the other piece is that we have people that live in our city that don't live like the rest of us, right? And we do need to help people across our community get ahead, because there is an unlevel playing field throughout this entire city. I believe created by the city itself. And most times, like if Julian Castro puts $1 billion downtown, right, and the east side over on Hackberry's never seen a street repair off of Porter Street.
Can't get a light bulb changed.
If Phil Hardberger can get a $25 million Critter Bridge. But their flooding is still happening down in District 4. I mean, there's a complete and total lack of action in all of these pieces, right?
I mean, people don't even call folks back. You try to get on websites that doesn't work, links don't work, information is old. Come on.
But I do believe, right, in spite of my overarching, I mean, people know, man, I am going to be opposed to those signature collections and repealing 143 and the police contracts. Folks, we cannot repeal them. Can we fix them and make them better going forward for the future? Hell yes, all day long.
And I've always said that.
We should have these discussions, and I'm glad you put that on the record and said, I don't want to defund the police.
I do not.
If we remove the contracts,
Can I also tell you this? How do you know the police have all the funding that they need? Because I sure know that they need another computer system up in there. I also, to process things a little bit quicker, guns are about to come off their 10-year time that they need to rebuy. Who said that they are properly funded all the way to where they have everything they need to do their job properly?
You're exactly right on the reporting system. Part of the problem we have in our crime tracking is the reporting system. That's a whole other conversation, and I'm glad you pointed that out.
When you give the people the wrong facts and you don't give them all the information and you lead them down the wrong trail, then you've got a bunch of fights that lead nowhere and don't help anybody. So I'm huge on saying, look, this is the facts, and if you don't know them, I need you to go and research them yourself. Don't let your neighbor tell you. Please go look it up.
Well, the thing is, too, is then to finish that one thought, I love the police. I love their role in our community, and I think they're maligned from beginning to end. Are there bad apples? Hell yes. Nobody wants a bad cop gone more than a good cop. That is a 100% truth. But there is this piece where I do believe, and we all have to come to grips with this as individual citizens and as people who live in this community that's us, right? That's San Antonio. And I think we've had something special for decades in our city that we're losing every day. Because of our leadership. I think we're losing that fabric of what makes San Antonio special. But you have to concede that life is different for a black person on certain aspects of these lives. And I think if we tried to, like I had different friends that come and sit here. We had Antonio Lee came here, and he told me how he felt about things. Christopher Herring, another older man on the other side of things. And you're speaking to the points too. But I think you have to recognize that there is some truth, right, in Black Lives Matter and the movement and our ability as a city to make sure we're taking care of those issues. I think you have to say it, right?
But it's not the movement. What it is, and this is what I want us to stop doing. Stop making it a Black Lives Matter movement. What I want you to do is go to the things that actually make the stereotypical things happen. Like when the sheriff or the sheriff's department, now I'm not trying to put it on you, Salazar, but when somebody goes and posts black man in red shirt, dangerous, whatever, that is a stereotypical thing. You have just named so many black people in red shirts, Hispanic man in white tank top. Those are the things that you get rid of. You get rid of the specific things that are causing the racial tension and the stuff to happen. You don't have to make it a whole movement. You don't have to say that racism is a health crisis. Racism is a crime.
Okay, I don't even know what I don't even. We could literally.
Can we go on another subject
we could
now?
Literally end it. No, it's just. But this is what the city wants. This is what people want to know, and this literally is every question. It's literally every question, because people are so concerned. And anytime anybody sits here and asks about is running for office or comes in here, that's every question that gets asked is around public safety, around what are we doing about our city, around this.
I'm telling you, we have to educate our community more.
We've told about our people. So let's go.
And rebuild the relationships with the cops.
Betty Eckert had a question, yes. And she talked about neighborhood associations. I want to talk about the East Side because I think there's a level of beauty over there that nobody recognizes. Yeah, it's been ignored. That for 40 plus years, they don't get the same resources. They've had 6 council members, I think, in the last 3 years.
I'm like, yes.
It's struggling, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's crime. So we spend a lot of time on crime because that's the number one, like I said, public safety. But to your point, let's go on to something else because I want to talk about what is great about the East Side and the things you want to work on in there. So neighborhood associations are huge over there. Like they're super active,
and
right?
I am on the board of the Denver Heights Neighborhood Association for 3 years. Yes.
All right.
And I do what I can as far as helping and providing resources. But I've been on the Dignity Neighborhood Association as well before I moved to the Denver Heights area. But definitely involved. I work with the presidents. Actually, just got off the phone with one of the district area presidents. Work with Aubrey Lewis a lot, and anybody else. The President's Roundtable of the Neighborhood Association. So my whole thing is that, again, it's all about the glue and piecing it together. Neighborhood associations need more support. They just need more support at the end of the day. I mean, there's so many things that the neighborhood association can do. They are a voice. They are important in the whole aspect of things being built and developers coming to get approval of different things. Now, I do know over the years, developers have come, we've approved things, and then when it gets built, it doesn't look anything like we approved. So that is something I think we need to kind of go in and look at as well. I'm getting into different stuff. The tax issue is a very concerning thing for me when we're dealing with all of the gentrification that's happening on District 2, in District 2 right now.
There's neighborhoods that are gone, right? I mean, there's neighborhoods that are straight up gone.
There are, and I mean, they look different. You got different folks there, but that's not necessarily, I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, that's a horrible thing. What it is to me, the people who want to stay somewhere, they should be able to stay somewhere. I think that we should have areas that literally stay historically looking the way they do, and I think that we should have areas in which people can develop in, because we do need new things, as well as we need to cherish our history as well. They can both live in harmony in the same space. District 2 is a large area. So
Denver Heights is changing a lot.
Denver Heights has changed, absolutely.
Pretty much people are going to get priced out of Denver Heights in the next 5 years, too, right?
I will tell you right now, I was renting a building that I paid $10,000 a month for. $10,000, sir. I did it for a year, and I said, I just can't do this anymore. And I was actually providing a space for multiple small businesses and individuals. So it really was a hurt to the community. So it is a thing. It's a thing. And we need to be able to go in there and partner with developers. I think that's one thing nobody's ever even thought about. Have you gone and tried to talk to developers and sit them down at the table and say, hey, look, I know developers want to make money. And I know that they do want to make things in which the people in the district will use so they can make their money or get their money back quickly. So with conversation and communication, anything is possible.
Well, and I think it is important, and you brought up another fair point. The same people that sometimes we vilify, right? Developers get vilified, police get vilified. I mean, you can go right down the line of people who get vilified in our political conversations. But we also need these same people.
Absolutely.
So just like we talked about the police for a while, the development community, right? The small business community is a needed asset and resource in our city, right? We do want to develop new, more energy efficient right? We want to have more opportunities, hire people back. We want to do things. And trust me, City Hall, Ron Nuremberg and the other 10 people down there, they're not creating one single job. They're not the ones creating jobs. So we do have to utilize, and frankly, they're not the one building houses or apartments. They're not doing any of that. If they're doing anything, they're making things more costly, right? So we do need those. So I think it's a good point for you that you make, that we must work together with the development community, especially in a community that heavily needs development.
Absolutely.
But you said there's nothing wrong with making a profit, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, we have to look at the things, balance it out. I have looked at different projects that's happened in Houston where they've actually done development in areas and taxes didn't go up. I wonder why we haven't done that here. Have we researched it? Have we really looked into all the different programs? Have we tried to connect ourselves to all the different ways? Is my question.
Yeah, so, and look, I mean, so some people make some comments here about development, right? All city councils should be taught, okay, that's a ride along with police officers, costs us money. Developers are this city, from Patty Gibbons. When you talk about developers, it's like a 4-letter word. It is. It can get really bad, and because people are getting sweetheart deals from the city, right? There are a chosen few. Back to the city picking winners and losers. That's a 100% what happens. And the mayor and the city council, actually, it's not even really the city council now, because let's face it, the mayor is the one, he's on TV every day. He is the one appearing to make all the decisions. So when you are picking winners and losers, you are saying who succeeds, who doesn't, right? Who has an opportunity to stay open and who stays closed, who can rehire and who can't, who can you hang out with at Thanksgiving, who you can't, where can you go to church and where you can't. The city has gotten really active in telling us everything we cannot do, and then who not to work with, by the way. But I think what's important to note about your approach, and one of the things people don't know this, because I'm spending some time on this, because people don't know how important the relationship is with the development community as a council member. It's a huge issue that you have relationships with the people who build your city.
Right.
Whether you authorize their work or not, you have to support development that takes care of
that's
your
what
city,
the council's
your district.
for. Right. Yes.
So you don't have to approve everything, but you have to work
That's right.
with them.
Yes.
What are some things about District 2 that you want to check? Did you just know, just rapid fire, a couple of things that you think that you want people to know that, or you're going to focus on? Look, at this point, I think you've already willed yourself to winning. Like, for some reason,
it's my seat,
it's like
people. Move around.
It's like you already won. So, okay.
Look,
aside from that,
what we're gonna do is we are going to bring the community together. We're gonna provide resources to the people who are out there doing this work every day. We're gonna create committees and I don't care if it's 12 committees or 15 committees of people who have been doing work for 10 years plus, and they're gonna constantly be hammering every day at each scenario. So if it's a committee for elderly, committee for homeless, a committee for streets, a committee for stray dogs, and each one, honey, I already got the committees together, so don't worry about it. I've been working with these people for 10 years. So we're already ready to go. And every day, each one of those committees are gonna constantly concentrate on that aspect, because what we do every day is what makes us have a great tomorrow. So we have to start working on things every day. We don't wait till there's a hurricane. We don't wait till there's a crisis. We're in crisis now. So every day we're going to work, and we're going to take our numbers, and we're going to get our data, and we're going to insert our programs, and we're going to make sure the sheriff and the constable and the mayor, whoever that may be, and other council members are working with us to get to the next lane. The one thing that separates me from other folks, when I walk into some way, I don't tell them what they're doing wrong or why you doing this. What I say is, what can I do to help us get to the next level? What part can I play? What part can the community play? What part can the people come in here and do to where we can get to the goals that we need to? Because if we leave it all on them, honey, they're going to do whatever they want to. And then we're going to turn around and be like, what happened? You didn't even listen to us. Why have an SA 2020? Why have all these town hall meetings if you're not going to listen to what we said?
That happens
all the time.
More than you.
When I did go to the council, I gave them specific things that I wanted them to do, and we got a resolution. That's not what we wanted. So at the end of the day, that's what we're going to focus on, getting things done with no excuse. Bringing folks together. We know what we need to do, guys. We know.
And the truth is, and you hit another point. You called out resolutions too. Man, Nneka's one. You're a call out machine.
Sorry.
Like, okay, look, I just want to see, okay, for nothing else, if for no other reason, I mean, you know your business. I'm not saying you don't know your business, but if for no other reason, I'd love to see you on that city council just to blast, right? Just to come.
We're not going to do this. I'm not voting for that.
You're not, when I say blast, I mean, you're putting people on blast. You're saying the things that don't get said. And as a council person, I tried to do that routinely. It was hilarious. But you're sometimes on the minority of that, obviously, because most people go down to City Hall and they sit there and they don't say a word. They just like being elected, right? And they like to be coddled and taken care of and fed 4 or 5 times a week and treated like they're superstars. City council members, I'm here to tell you, I was a city council member. The job is not that great. You're not sitting up here on a pedestal. You're nowhere near a teacher. You're nowhere near a firefighter.
You work for all of those people. You work for all of those people. They don't work for you.
Get over yourself.
They don't work for you. You work for them.
It's a servant mentality job, and they've lost that. But I would love to see you down there putting these people on blast, because if you think about our council right now, and this is a fair point I'm going to make. I'm not going to try to get too political on our friend Ron Nirenberg. That council does not work together. They're not. Right? If you look at it, we've been facing COVID all year long.
Well, the women try to stick together.
But they're gone now, right? Like, you don't see or hear from them at all.
Yeah.
So the council, so we're facing the greatest challenge that our city budget has seen in decades. We're facing this COVID-19, a pandemic. Soon we'll be going to be trying to work on this vaccine distribution piece. We're going to try to rehire and bring back 150,000, all this. And there is no other council member present. It's just Ron and Nelson Wolf. The same people every day, all the time. And the other council, so you have to have a team as a city council.
Yeah.
So one final question as we begin to wrap up here is, how do you think you're going to work with differing personalities, right? Okay, let's just let's just take who's down there right now and work with who's down there right now. How do you approach working with people who flat out may be just as lazy as you've called them out, right? So how are you going to work with colleagues and peers? Because District 2 is 1 vote of 10, and you need that kind of support to get things happening down there. And District 2 has been ignored for so long. I mean, look, I worked my tail off over there during the political campaign for mayor because I just love that side. I love the community over there. Right. It's faith-based, the family-oriented environment, the military veterans. It's just a wonderful. If you've never visited, take the time to spend over in the East Side. You got to go do it. Right. There's much rich history over there and people and families. It's a wonderful place to be. But how do you work to get your stuff done?
Let me just say, I already work with like Perry's district to District 10. I already know people that are on the current council and work with their office members as well. But it's all about relationships and communication. I have no doubt in my mind, nor have I ever in life had a problem with creating a relationship with somebody, even if it's somebody that I don't agree with. Nneka, what you gonna do about Nelson Wolf? The same thing I do every time I see Nelson Wolf. What up, Nelson Wolf? How you doing? We gotta talk about some things. And that's what we do. You just go in and you talk to the folks, you fill out where they're at. I come and say, what can I do for you? Tell me what's on your mind. Let me hear what your thoughts are. Let me see where your thought process is. Then from there, I know what angle to go. I'm in communications. That's what I do. I talk. So I have no fear. No person is of fear to me. They are just another human being that got into a position, maybe the same way I did, or maybe a different way, but they're just another individual that puts their pants on the same way, hopefully. So at the end of the day, I have no fear from that. We're going to sit down, we're going to talk. And if you are another council person, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk until we get it right, because that is our job.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good wrap-up point right there, Salo. Okay, here's the problem for me right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest as I wrap this thing up. I had some ideas of what I wanted to ask and kind of how I get to guide the discussion. I get to take it and work it through, weave my magic. Yeah, no, it was completely out the window. I'm like trying to keep up with you. I
told him to get ready.
I stopped scribbling my notes. I'm like, I like spontaneity. So trust me, there was really we didn't even coordinate what we were going to talk about tonight. No. I don't like to do that when I hop on and have conversations with people. I just like to just sit there and just kind of go for it. We didn't talk too much beforehand.
And he told me, I came in my whole suit. And he was like, you got a suit on?
Why are you wearing a suit?
I said, baby, because I came to represent what's really happening and what these people are going to see come May 2021 in the council office.
Good key points here to remember. City council elections, you can start signing up for city council if you want to run. I think it's January.
January 14th is the day that signatures start.
First filing day.
Now, of course, you can't really start your campaign running until you get your treasurer and get that bad boy
right.
in. So make sure you do that.
You're already in.
Yes.
So the next one is the filing period ends, I think, February 14th, right there, that time period, February 15th, right? So you got about 30 days to go, and then the elections run from, really people start campaigning heavily in January once we get past the holidays, and then it goes into the first Saturday in May, which I believe is May 3rd, 2021 is your city council election. All 10 members are up for election. We have 2 termed out in District 3 and 5. Nneka's challenging the current councilwoman, Jada Andrews Sullivan. And she is a first-termer. She was appointed, and then she won election to the seat, and she's running for her second term.
No, she was not appointed. That was Art Hall. That was appointed during the time when...
Hello. Yeah, no, she came back and won the seat, right? She was in the final pairing.
She was in the final
That's right.
running to be
Art Hall was
appointed.
appointed. She was in the final pairing. Art Hall got it, and then she ran for the seat. Art Hall didn't run again.
Right.
Okay, good catch. Right. Yeah, I'm just wowed at your knowledge right now. So she did run and win, right? She defeated Keith Toney
by about 150
votes in a runoff. So tight race. This was in 2019.
Only 5,432 people around that number voted, and I'm going to need y'all to do better than that.
5,432.
In a district of 100,000 folks.
Wow.
Registered voters. Let's go.
That's a whole other conversation. 5,432 people voted in the District 2 race.
So all they had to do to win was get 2,430-something votes. I know that many people. Let's go.
We got problems in voter apathy. Well, that's a whole other show. So the election comes up. We can catch you on Facebook.
Yes.
Your website is?
My website is NnekaCleaver4d2.com. December 12th, we talk safety in mass.
December 12th. There she is right there.
There is my platform, Safety Increase, Educational, Economic, Connecting the District Properly. What does I mean by that? Our Tiers Board has 4 empty seats for over a year and a half, 8 people who sat on it for over 5 years. Our Linear Board has someone who lives in Hollywood Park sitting in it that is not District 2. So these are some of the main reasons why our voices are not being heard, my friends. It starts from little things like our boards and our committees that we must connect properly in our district. So I'm excited, so let's go.
Yeah, so you're on. All I have to do is say a word, Nneka just goes. It's going to be so much fun.
He's not going to give, let me back
It's going to be so
on.
much fun with you on the city council. I just cannot wait. I cannot wait because people's feelings are going to get hurt all the time. Like, I can see people from certain council districts, Council District 8, crying in their soup over you saying, or in their spilt milk, crying because you're like, I don't know, telling the truth. You're going to be like,
I'll do it with a smile.
I got a truth to say. And then you're going to hear tears on other sides of the dais as you.
The people deserve the truth.
Look, bring the truth, right?
People deserve the truth.
At the very least, even if it's your truth, bring your thought, bring your argument to the table. The beauty of it is somebody votes at the end of it, and we know where we stand.
Absolutely.
And if you at least are honest in the conversation, that's why I want to thank you. Because if you come to the fight, at least you're honest. You tell people what you believe. That's the best we can ask for. And the votes will choose it at the end of the day. Wherever you're at, you're at. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Man, you have memes?
Somebody asked for memes.
I don't even. Okay. Oh, did Ray ask for memes? We normally do. Okay, I want to just put a caveat out there. Man, I had some memes. I didn't get a chance to. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second here. Hold on.
I got to give my girl Courtney a shout out. Hey, Courtney, I love you.
All right, hold on. I'm texting these memes to Salo right now. Hold on. I'm texting them to him because we didn't get any memes together. I'm going to be honest with you. We always do some memes at the end of the night.
Wow, bro.
Okay, hold on. Okay. What do we got?
No,
He's getting.
I'm scared.
I don't even know what I text you. Hold on. I got to make sure we don't do anything.
Let me show you one right here. Look at this
Okay. Hey, are you celebrating Thanksgiving in there? No, we're just rioting and looting. Okay, carry on. It's right there.
I'm sorry, Betty. I'm on it.
Oh, Betty, I did ask one of Betty's questions. Yes,
I'm on it, Betty.
Betty is the #1 senior
Betty,
advocate.
I will say I did not know that, but I know it now, and I'm on it, Betty.
I'm rioting and looting. Carry on.
Hey, Beatrice, love you.
Give me what else you got? Be careful what you put up there. Let's see here. So we're doing last minute memes. Dwayne Johnson's family get tested after being unable to smell what the Rockets cooking. Okay, there's one of a. Yeah, put that one up right there. This is mine right here. I love this one. Here we go again. That's Rambo running with the 48 count mega roll of Charmin.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Here's the hillbilly bidet.
Oh my God! Yes.
I'm sorry, I just offended hillbillies. Thank you. Yeah, well, that's
terrible.
Is there one? There's one that's like a stack full of toilet paper, a stack full of clothes in a corner. Single man's Christmas tree. Can you put that one up there? Hold on. This is a single man.
Yes.
Hold on. This is tailing off in a world of terrible. Got my Christmas tree up.
Yes.
That is a single man's Christmas
That's
tree.
the bomb right there.
Yes, single man's Christmas tree. That frozen look of fear while driving with the woman. Look at that boy. He's got it. She's happy. She's thoroughly pleased, happy with the world.
Having a great time. Yes.
You good? Is that it? All right, we got it right there. Hey, look. We appreciate you, Nneka Cleaver. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, guys.
As always, what is most important is that we at least engage a conversation and let other people say what they think. And it's okay to say you don't agree with each other 100%. It's okay to say I believe in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's okay to say I was wrong in the past and I've changed my mind now, but I see it this way. It's okay to be different. It's okay to change your mind and thought. But at the end of the day, you have to put out there what you believe in and stand for it. That's what elections are about. Be mindful of who we're putting into office. People are announcing from now through mid-February. Do your research and homework. Find out who's running for public office. The number one branch of government that affects you is City Hall. Your local politics, your local City Hall affects you more than anything else. Not Donald Trump, not Greg Abbott, not Judge Wolf. It is literally Ron Nuremberg and that City Council that are in your life each and every day. At least know who they are. Find out what they stand for. Find out all who are running. And make sure you get an opportunity to make a choice and pull the trigger for who you believe in and who you want to see do the best you possibly can for what's important to you. The scoreboard at the end of the day is the election and the vote count, and it'll dictate it. But don't hide. Don't stick your head in the sand because things aren't going your way and your person's not elected right now and it's not your president. Whatever your story is, don't give up on the chance that we have in San Antonio to get back a little bit of who we are. Let's not pick winners and losers anymore, City Hall. Let's figure out a way to just win, right? To just do the best we can, get people hired back. Let's make sure we're taking care of neighborhoods and communities that have been neglected for years. That's what we should be holding these new city council member and candidates to. What in the world are you going to do to help us get our little piece of the world back? San Antonio, enough of COVID-19 and the fear factor. Be mindful of what's going on. Social distance, wear your mask, protect your family. Obviously, one death is one death too many.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we've got to get this community back up and running, and we're going to need these council candidates, these council members and the mayor to believe in us as a city. Get out there and listen to what matters most. Thank you. We appreciate you. Nneka killed it. I couldn't even get my questions in, but we love you, and as always, the broadcast is out.